Douglas Cooling and Heating, serving the Birmingham area for 38 years. 988-3706. That's Douglas.
This is your Weather Extreme video for Saturday, December the 17th. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters, and wow, what a Friday we had in Birmingham with some of the rarest clouds on the planet. Let's take a look at one of those shots, just in case you missed it. These are the Kelvin Helmholtz wave clouds, and it was absolutely phenomenal. Wished I had seen it myself. Well, how about some Skycam imagery? There's a look at Cheehaw this morning. They're definitely in the clouds, in the fog, whichever you want to say. At that altitude, I suspect they're in the clouds, but they should be clearing out today. Beautiful shot at Fayette. The sky is still somewhat cloudy, and we can still see clouds at Demopolis as we look out over the river there. We should be clearing today as a trough comes by, but we're getting into this, or we've been in this pattern where we've got this closed low over the southwestern U.S., and it just keeps sending weather systems out, or it'll kick out, and then another one will drop in behind it. So it looks like that pattern is not changing much over the next couple of weeks, at least for the foreseeable future. That pattern keeping the U.S. fairly chilly. That red line is the 32-degree isotherm, and that covering, below 32, covering a large percentage of the nation, on the order of, I'd say, 85 or 90%. We're a little bit chillier this morning than we've been recently, but at least over the last several days. Temperatures, as you can see with that northerly flow, temperatures getting down into the 30s for the most part, although some spots still around 41 at the taking of this particular map. We do have rain in the future, not for the weekend though. It looks like we'll stay dry through Monday, but it looks like Tuesday and Wednesday we see another chance for some more rain, perhaps even a little bit more rain than we saw in this last system. I know I got gypped. I only got 1/100 of an inch. The 06Z GFS model run this morning, and there's our surface map for today. High pressure covering a large part of the central and southeastern United States. The high settles in over the lower Mississippi River Valley on Sunday, so that keeps us high, dry, and cool for the weekend. Our closed low out over the southwestern U.S. and northern Mexico begins to come out on Monday. That should be a dry day for us. But Texas, Oklahoma getting some much-needed rain out that way. The system reaches into Oklahoma on Tuesday by the middle of the day. This is about noontime, and that brings the weather pretty close to us. I think the main threat's going to come in the afternoon and into the overnight hours into early Wednesday, but that brings a closed low over Arkansas with the front approaching the Mississippi River Valley. Let's give an intermediate time here, and this is at midnight. So this is, late Tuesday night or very early Wednesday morning, and you can see that the front closed low just to the north of Memphis, and we can see that the front crossing the Mississippi River Valley. And we often talk about the differences between the Euro and the GFS, and in this particular case, they're both pretty close. There's a look at the European model, same sort of pattern. The closed low, this is actually not at midnight. This is at noon, so comparing backwards there, you can see that the closed low over Arkansas and the front approaching the Mississippi River Valley. So the model's in pretty good agreement. By Wednesday, our little closed low is moving by, so that means that the rain should be ending on Wednesday, probably by early afternoon, if this is any indication, with the trough coming by us there. So we should see improving weather, although I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if clouds held in for much of the day on Wednesday. And don't look for much change in temperatures. Looks like, morning lows maybe around 52, afternoon highs 58, so temperatures probably staying fairly steady. We do have a little break in the action, a brief break anyway. Thursday looks to be dry as we're getting a nice trough over the northern Great Lakes area, the northern part of the United States, but we're still seeing that little shortwave coming out of the southwest, so that should be dry. And, of course, that pretty chilly back over Texas and Oklahoma, especially the northern parts of those states there. The northern trough moves on by, and the southern one comes on by. That should once again bring us some wet weather for Friday. as we stay with the kind of a southwesterly flow aloft, that bringing in moisture out of the Pacific. So it looks like another round of some wet weather. The main threat probably coming for the southern part of the state. And again, the European, pretty good agreement with the GFS, so the two staying relatively close in phase. When we get out to Saturday, a week from today, the 24th, Christmas Eve, we're back under the southwesterly flow. So for all those people that want cold weather, I'm afraid there's just no sign of that going on right now. And of course, with that kind of southwesterly flow, the front remains where? That's a good question. Right now, the GFS suggesting, and I think this is pretty reasonable, somewhere in the vicinity of the Florida Panhandle. And so I think for us in central Alabama, we should stay dry. But again, this probably means that we'll stay cloudy. Going out into voodoo country, and the pattern stays pretty progressive. Now, it looks like we do get a shot at some pretty chilly air around the 26th, 27th or so, with that short wave, that trough coming across the central part of the country. And that, of course, would be relatively wet there for us. The trough amplitudes not as great by the by the 30th. We see that the big trough is off to over New England and out into the Atlantic, but we're getting that little short wave coming out of the southwestern U.S. And then we get back into the 2nd of January 2012. Holy mackerel, another year just ahead. And we can see another fairly strong short wave, but not with a great amplitude to be bringing some extremely cold air our way. So looks like the end of December is going to be relatively mild. Well, thanks for tuning in to the Weather Xtreme video. Expect to have the next one posted around 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, or maybe a little before. In the meantime, I hope that you have a wonderful day, and Godspeed.
Thank you for trusting us to be your #1 source for news
in all of central Alabama.
in back-to-back ratings periods.
More people watched ABC 3340
than any other station in Birmingham.